Welcome to r/Entitled People, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them, and they should get what they want. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel, and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story. I was the sole IT person for a company that had 300 full-time employees when my boss told me I didn't do enough, so I left the company retreat a day early and quit. The second story. The entitled lady calls the big boss demanding to fire me. The third story. The company was going to fire me, but I have a plan. The first story is, I don't do enough for the company? Well then, now you know exactly how much I did for the company. Back in January 2020, I started a job as a help desk associate for a marketing company. I was their first IT person ever, supporting staff of about 120, working 5 hours per day, hired through a staffing agency making $20 an hour, answering directly to the HR lady. I really liked the job because as the only IT person, it gave me a lot of freedom, and people looked up to me for my expertise. It has its downsides though too. Like once I went to get a routine mammogram and was away from my phone for about 30 minutes, and the company almost burned to the ground during that time. But I guess that's what happens when you know the infrastructure of a company like the back of your hand. My job title was help desk associate, but I was more like an IT admin. Beyond helping people with their user errors, I managed our domain, onboarded and offboarded employees, maintained a list of inventory, wrote the tech policies, managed software licenses, purchased tech, handled CCPA requests, etc. At the height of the pandemic, my company decided to move out of their very expensive office. I went there and made several trips carrying tech to be stored in my apartment. Computers, servers, peripherals, monitors, etc. In August 2020, the company purchased another company, bringing us to about 250 full-time employees and a handful of contractors. And so the company bought my contract from the staffing agency and started me at $60,000 a year. Kinda low for Los Angeles, so I asked for $65K and was told no. I said fine. In January 2021, I was given a raise to $62,500. I was loved by everyone at the company. When our company purchased the other, one of the engineers thought that we should invest in MDM and antivirus software, and I agreed. We brought our case to management and got them on board. I deployed those softwares to the whole company by meeting with each employee for 15 minutes each over Zoom entirely by myself. It was a bumpy ride, but I got through it. Then the company started to grow, and I was finding myself stretched thin. I brought up the idea of possibly hiring someone to work under me and was told no. I then asked for a ticketing system. Everyone just messaged their problems to me on Slack usually. Also no. Job title upgrade? We'll think about it. But I really liked the job and my coworkers, so I kept chugging along. One day I was sending a new hire his computer, and the address I got from HR was giving me an error on FedEx's website. A suburb address with a city zip code. I asked HR lady for confirmation of the zip code, and I was told it was fine and to just send it. So I did. Welp, the package got held at a FedEx office for address correction, which delayed it for a week. The new hire's boss called me screaming at me, asking what my effing plan was, and how irresponsible I am and how this absolutely cannot happen again. I naturally started crying because I went out of my way to seek address correction and was told it was correct. The new hire's boss told me that I need to call FedEx and get this sorted at once, and I told him that once FedEx takes custody of a package that's insured for $3,000, they don't allow it to be intercepted, rerouted, or returned. It just has to run its course. In another incident, one of the policies the company had me write was one regarding computer upgrades. When a computer is due for an upgrade after its useful life cycle, a new computer may be requested. Upon receipt of the new computer, the user has 2 full weeks to move the data over, and then send the old computer back to me for data erasure, and either resale on the secondhand market or disposal. I had a user keep both her new computer and her old computer for 2 months, and then she asked me for a 3rd month and I got mad. I pointed to our policy and told her that she had already been given extension after extension. She then argued with me on Slack saying that her old computer is well old, and there's no business purpose to send it back to me, so why the F do I even care? And we both screenshot it and sent it to my boss, the HR lady. This was the first time I tried to enforce this policy. An HR boss lady came at me telling me that I need to be more flexible. She then gave me a PIP, Personal Improvement Plan, outlining things that I need to do better. I need to be happier because I am IT, and IT is friendly and cheerful. I need to find a solution, rather than tell people that nothing can be done about a wrong address. Basically, this list of absolute nonsense telling me that if I don't improve on this, I'll be fired, and my progress will be measured in not 1, but 2 weekly meetings. Then came the company retreat in July 2021. As the only person in the company that every single employee knew, I got a lot of hugs in the lobby. The hotel and the food was great. However, HR boss lady was put off that I wasn't in the auditorium at 7 a.m. every day and wasn't staying until 11 p.m. Everyone was out getting wasted, but she wanted me to be on hand for what I don't even know. Then on the last day, she freaked out at me. I already had a stockpile of about 40 computers in their boxes in my home, and she wanted me to take home some conference cameras as well. I told her that this was getting to be too much, and if she wanted me to take more SH home, I was gonna have to start being compensated for all the space this was starting to take up. She called me a bad person and said I didn't do enough for the company. Our CFO, who had the cameras before this, then became involved and I had to hunt her down in the hotel, never finding her, and missing the final bus to dinner. I then called our CAO to explain what was going on, and she told me that she heard I left an event early to go get a free massage that our company paid for. I told her that the presentation was about marketing, which I don't do, and that the event planner told me that the presentation was not mandatory. Then this B has the nerve to tell me that I don't work for the event planner, I work for her. I went back up to my room, threw my SH back into my duffel bag, and took the train home. I didn't hear from anybody the next day, so I called up HR boss B's assistant and told her I quit. I told her I'd be happy to leave 2 weeks. The CAO then emailed me telling me 2 weeks wasn't necessary. I then hopped on the Slack channel for admins and told everyone I quit, and to shut my SH down immediately. It was met with disbelief, and I was like, I'm as serious as a fat kid at a Pizza Hut. Disable me across the board now. I then went to our general company channel and said that I loved working there and I'll miss them all, which was up for about 30 seconds before HRB took it down. And then my Slack was disabled. HR assistant, whom I have nothing against, came to get all the tech. Took her 3 trips in her sedan. The weekend was quiet. Then on Monday, my phone blew up. People got word and were calling, sending me FB, LinkedIn, and IG messages, saying that I was their favorite, and everything's going to suck without me, and the whole thing was such BS. I was unemployed for about 3 weeks. Found a way better job with higher pay, supporting about 900 people on a team of 7 sharing the work. A few months ago, though, I did talk to a recruiter, who informed me that my previous company had such a hard time filling my unique position that they gave up after a month, and turned to him to fill the job. He couldn't tell me how much that person makes now, but it's probably close to 6 figures. A few people have reached out to me online telling me that the learning curve has been tough for this new guy. A few people were shocked that I made so little. I even had one person call me begging for tech support because she couldn't get any from the company, and of course I helped her, and it made me feel good knowing that I was irreplaceable. I guess they're learning just how much work I did for the company the hard way. I'd like to think that they learned from their mistakes, but I doubt it. The second story is, you can't get me fired if the boss doesn't know I exist. Hi. This happened a while ago already, but some of my coworkers thought it deserved to be here. I actually have to deal with a lot of entitled people. I just try not to dwell on those people too much. That time I wrote about before, the lady calling me an S over my colorful makeup who got told off by my supervisor was by far the most legendary and awesome. This one here happened a few months ago, and it's just absurd how self-important and entitled that lady was. So a few months ago, we were having a super busy day at the museum where I work. It was the closing weekend of a major exhibition, and the opening of another big one, so the place was packed. Of course, the line to the ticket office was also longer than usual, but since a lot of people now buy their tickets online in advance, it wasn't that bad, maybe 15 minutes wait at most. Then this lady with her husband and their friends walks in. Looks like she's in her late 60s or early 70s. Classy outfit, a white jacket and pencil skirt, a turquoise dress shirt and matching cream white high heels. She comes up to me, I ask if she's got her ticket. She doesn't, but she pulls out a card that shows that she belongs to a Museum Personnel Association. We recognize this card where I work. Holders of that card have to go to the ticket office and they get a free entrance ticket. Yes, they need a ticket even if they get in for free, because we need to keep track of the number of people inside. However, they don't get to cut the line. Thing is, that lady was 100% sure that she could just walk in. Not tickets for her or the people with her, even though her card meant that only she gets a free ticket, not as many as she wants. So I tell her to go wait in the line to get her free ticket, and she just explodes and starts yelling at me. It went something like this. What? How can you say that? Don't you know what this card means? The rule, she actually rolled the R when she spoke. It was hilarious. Is that with this card, I can enter any museum for free and without tickets with my guests. Don't you know what I do? I'm the administrative council president of the blank museum. Not gonna say it, she might actually get recognized. I tell her again to get in line. This is the way things are, that she needs her free ticket to enter. I explain that yes, I know that card and what it means, but that it doesn't exempt her from following the rules. She blows again. You little, just you wait. I can see your name on your badge. I'm gonna call your president. I know him. I'll tell him how disrespectful and ignorant of the rules you are. Tomorrow you'll be out of a job. Maybe that'll teach you to respect your elders. And she stomped off to the counter, cutting the whole line and bullied the poor clerk into giving her a ticket. In the meantime, I'm just standing there a bit stunned, and my colleague is calling my supervisor over the radio, telling him about what's going on. Unfortunately, by the time he arrived, the lady was gone, though we heard him over the radio going, "Where's the bee who thinks she can just bully my team and get away with it?" Thing is, she did call the president to tell on me, and demanded that I get fired for disrespectful conduct. But the president had no idea who the hell I am, and didn't even know what my job and position were, or that it existed in the first place at the museum. So he just wrote an email to HR asking, "Who is OP, and why is some lady shouting from the effing museum asking that I fire her?" Of course I didn't get fired, but we thought it was hilarious that she tried to get me fired by calling the big boss, and he had no idea who I was or what I do in the museum. And the last story is, my company wanted to fire me. Instead, I used my disability bank and ended up getting a settlement. I worked for a company so large that their stock symbol is a single letter. They were planning on closing my division, and started firing anyone over 40 with more than 10 years experience. That, of course, included me. I had received an award for the best employee in my division of over 400 people the year before, so they had to work hard to find a reason. First, they found an error on my paperwork, a customer-signed blank paper. Not a monetary one, just one I needed to fill out when I had more time. Because the customer trusted me, they called it fraud and suspended me for 2 weeks. When I got back, I was advised that I was on probation for a year. Then a month before the year was up, I got called into my manager's office for using a customer's computer. Seriously. I had sent an email from his computer because my laptop wasn't working. That was on Friday. On Monday, I called into work sick. I then went to a psychiatrist complaining of debilitating stress. The psychiatrist gave me a letter saying I needed to be off work for at least a month. There began my 11-month disability. I had a bank of 11 months disability because I worked 12 hours a day, was there over 10 years, and almost never took a vacation. So I finally went to doctors and got everything checked out. I needed surgery for my feet, found out that I had a minor form of cancer, and needed my gallbladder out. When I ran out of illnesses, I called a coworker, who told me they planned to fire me when I got back. However, this company had already been sued for wrongful discharge, so I called that lawyer, who was eager to take my case. When the company found out, they offered me a settlement instead of firing me. I began a new career doing what I love. My division disappeared the following year. I hope you love these stories. Subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications. Thank you for watching.